All right. So I am reinstilling, all right, the distinction of said communication styles. Okay, I want you to have it down packed and with a clarity and conciseness of what and how go about each one. Okay, there's two different categories. Okay, there's light kingdom, direct and indirect confirmations, and then there are the dark kingdom, direct and indirect confirmations. For the light kingdom, we have direct access. Thus, in saying, we can confirm via both methods. Okay, direct being we serve one master, and so we go to him. Okay, now if a certain entity comes into contact with you, you are responsible as the spiritual warrior that you are, not necessarily to take it in your own understanding, make any agreements, nor do any said actions that he has instructed you to do. What you are responsible of doing or to do is to go to the Most High via indirect or direct means of briefings, okay? And tell him that, hey, this said unknown force or this said unclean spirit has informed me of XYZ or wants me to do XYZ. Okay, you are wait to command for command. Remember, you cannot stop when or hesitate when you give this said briefing. Okay, I'm telling you, I'm giving you a heads up. All right, if you felt like you broke it, you just call them out again real quick. All right, to get, because they come in swift. Now then once he gives you the command, you are to go back to said unclean spirit to give the instruction via the word from the source. Okay, now you see how it works, right? So now that was indirect, because the unclean spirit came to you with some sort of motive or instruction or ask, right? Whatever the case may be. Okay, now for the light kingdom, we serve one master, right? And it's holy. Okay, now when you go to the direct means, you're going direct to him, and this is the form in terms of prayer and confirmations. Okay, now the confirmations can be just, you just calling his name out, and then bada bing bada boom, that's it. The indirect means is the way in which how you go about doing it indirectly. So when that unclean spirit comes to you and tries to get you to do uncertain things, or through via temptation or ungodly attributes or habits, all right, you have the authority to walk with authority. So you can call out that unclean spirit, or you could say, unclean spirit, who are you? All right, who sent you? What are your motives, right? How long have you been doing this for? What are your origins? Okay, what what are your future plans? All right, which other unclean spirits are conspiring with you? All right, in allegiance to trying to get me off my path, to keep me distant, or try to get me distant from my Father. Okay, now you see what you're doing? That's indirect. Okay, now you're conversing with the unclean spirit, but you're gathering intel. Now this is indirect because you are to report back direct to the source. This is in reference to the source. You see where we're going here? All right, now so when you do that, you're good. Okay, now for the dark kingdom, okay, now this is something different. Okay, oh, for the also for the indirect, for the light kingdom. Okay, well, actually for the indirect, for the unclean spirits, okay, that's actually for the dark kingdom. Okay, for the indirect, for the light kingdom, you have the ability to use anything that has breath that the Most High created, and that's all of creation. all of creation, even the dead. This is a demonstrating factor in terms of how the word lives and how he speaks to the dead, and the dead, all right, receives the word and then thus lives, all right, comes to life. Okay, so that's via through authority, but you have to believe and hope and know with boldness and confidence, and know that he's a source. All right, that's the important takeaway with that. Okay, now you can go to any sort of living thing or inanimate object in terms of that he has created and not that man has created. Do you understand where I'm going? Okay, now the materials, right, it can be natural, right, because sometimes it's a composite of mixtures, right? So it still makes it what? A rock. Okay. Okay, whatever, whatever material. Okay, so you go to him, and then after you do it indirect, like, hey, rock, okay, do you have a word for me? And then you wait for a response in the unseen. Oh, and you get a confirmation, and then I say, and then you say, oh, what is the word for me that you have? And then the rock says, I hope you will win. Do you see? Do you see? Now, this was done in real time. This was done in real time. So, what I tell you, okay, the only reason I propelled is even before I was assigned this said position. These are the things in which I was uh, self initiating without even being like cognizant that I was doing this very thing, and I was enjoying it at the same time. Okay, for whatever reason. Okay, but you have the same ability. Okay, now I gave you the example with the indirect for the demons. Okay, when they come in the dark kingdom, you could do that. Okay, now another form for the dark kingdom, okay, would be, let's say you have stepped into sin, okay, unknowingly, okay, unknowingly, okay, through habits, through people you spoke to, or the unknown, unaware things you came into agreement with. You can call out everything that you typically like have experienced, and or the sad things that you struggle with. You call these things out, and they reveal themselves to you in real time. This is direct and indirect, but it's indirect because remember, we're going after in terms of the contact, the source. Okay, who is the source, right? So you won't know the source because you're not part of the dark kingdom. So okay, there are many heads, and many of them try to be the boss. That's their struggle. Okay. Okay. Now, so when you call out said unclean spirit, okay, and you go through the same list, okay, who did I last interact with, where I like inherited you, okay, were you a part of some legion that I interacted with in my circle, work circle, friend circle, family circle, or spouse? You see where we're going? Oh, do you see? Do you see? Now, when you dabble in the dark kingdom side of things, it just opens up exponentially. Okay, so you need not to be afraid of going into the dark side in terms of for purposes of light. You see, don't just seek half of the things in which you're able to that's available to you. All right, the demons must obey, and they must speak truthfully. Okay, because that is the system of faith. Now, for direct means, this can be the head of said force. Now, unless you know the head of said force, right, it's you won't likely be able to give direct anything. Okay, typically, normally, this would be for people of higher rankings within each kingdom, right? Typically, okay. Now, you can also command said spirit, unclean spirit, hey, are you the head and not the tail? You see what we're doing there? So they must give you, they must tell you whether or not they are indeed the head or the tail. And then if they're not, and then your next question can be what? Who is the head? Look at that. Look at that. Okay, da. So if you command that unclean spirit to speak to the head, you hear what I'm saying? But do not, if you're not ready to do not, I advise you, okay, do not engage if you do not have set authorizations to engage with said entities in such manner without readiness, okay, and understanding, okay. Now you need that unshakable faith, okay. So this is the ones where you lose things and you don't care, you don't cry out, you know what I mean. And then this is the one where you can walk the streets and you know that you're well protected, because they will come and throw arrows at you, okay. Now because they can see in the unseen where your now faith is, your present faith. So only do these things if you, for the direct, if you are ready to like elevate, okay. Now you gotta certainly learn from said ways, but before you can also go to indirect, direct confirmation briefings with the Most High to make sure that you can indeed, you know what I mean. Don't go on your own strength, because also you don't know what he's doing, and you don't know in terms of the alliances that he's instilled that circles around your life, okay, and other people. So you could be hindering him unknowingly. So before you order a strike against a head, okay, always confirm. Now for the demons, they low tier. Don't matter, okay. But for the heads, okay, timing and strategy is certainly involved, okay. So I hope this was a better understanding in terms of fully utilizing said kingdom, okay. Now, how do you move forward now? Okay. Well, now you practice via light kingdom, indirect, direct, and then now in dark kingdom, you practice indirect. Okay. That's it. That's it. All right. So unless you have authority and authorization to initiate direct contact with said heads, which you do not. Okay. Okay. This is a command. This is an instruction. Okay. Take this back. It will be an indirect, direct, light kingdom briefings. Okay. To confirm. Okay. Now, I hope this brings down some of the anxiety, but have fun with it and know that you will succeed, because victory is there, right? All right, that's it.